On the afternoon of the 6th of October 1973, a pair of Israeli Kronos fighter aircraft, the Israeli name for the F-4E Phantom, spur into life, unaware of what is to come their way. Unbeknownst to the base personnel at Ofira Air Base, some 20 MiG-17s and 8 MiG-21s are racing across the sea at low levels towards Ofira Air Base. Their objective is to render it inoperable. As the approaching aircraft close the distance towards Ofira, they appear on Israeli radar, smaller in number due to their tight formations. With the aircraft approaching, and with the ground interception controller maintaining that his Kurnas fighters remain on the ground, the pilot of one aircraft, Amir Nahumi, breaks procedure and begins to taxi towards the runway without authorization. His wingman does the same. Both aircraft taxi onto the runway and roar into the air with their afterburners ignited. Just as the pair lift off the ground, Egyptian aircraft arrive overhead, beginning their strikes across the airbase and its runway. As Nahumi looks behind him, he witnesses the explosions, realizing that if he had hesitated, he, his aircraft, and his wingmen would all be dead. Now in the air, with hostile aircraft to their rear, both Kurnases rapidly climb towards Napier Island. As they create distance between themselves and the attacking Egyptians, they mark out 7 four-ship formations of aircraft. It is here Nahumi realizes how outnumbered he is, yet, without hesitation, delivers his orders. Both Kurnases dump external fuel in break formation, turning back for Ofira. They hope that if they act independently, their chances of survival and the amount of damage they can inflict on the enemy will increase. Nahumi orders his wingman to move to the west of Ofira as he moves to the east. As Suki nears the western end of the airbase, Nahumi watches as he dives onto the tail of the first MiG-17. Nahumi prepares to launch his first Sidewinder missile, but is reminded by his navigator that the missile requires a locking tone before it can be reliably fired. Consumed by his success, he is once again grounded by his navigator, who shouts, "Break!" as the downed MiG's wingman dives on them. As he returns back to Ofira, he passes behind 2 further MiG-17s lined up to strike the base. The 2 MiGs notice the Kurnas to their rear. They cut their dive short and climb to escape. Nahumi is now directly over the airbase, and everywhere he looks, there are MiGs. His wingman finishes off his first MiG-17 with a missile, and passes Nahumi from the west. Nahumi quickly spots another pair of MiG-17s targeting an Israeli Hawk air defense battery. Turning quickly, Nahumi dives onto the tail of the leader. One of the MiGs notices the approaching Kurnas and breaks right, diving downwards towards the sea in a desperate attempt to escape. Nahumi, giving chase, waits for the second MiG to turn. As it does, it strays into the gun sights of the Kurnas. He fires, but misses due to the MiG-17's superior mobility. As Nahumi returns to the airbase, he quickly spots another pair of MiGs. However, to his surprise, the MiGs begin to pull away. He soon comes to the realization that their right engine is out. Nahumi quickly restarts the engine and catches up to the fleeing MiGs. He fires a missile at the rear fighter, striking them a second later. Trying to find the MiG's wingman, he spots another pair of wings heading for a communication relay along the shoreline. As he screams towards them, both MiGs turn to face him. One fires its entire complement of unguided rockets towards Nahumi, whilst the other holds. Nahumi locks a Sidewinder and fires at the MiG in question, which impacts the MiG's front and explodes. Meanwhile, to the west, Shuki is also chasing a MiG. With the missile lock acquired, he fires, destroying the MiG-17. As he breaks back towards Ofira, he spots a pair of MiG-21s. Appearing on their tail, he immediately fires one Sidewinder, which decimates the first MiG. Witnessing this, the second fighter breaks right towards the sea. Seemingly in a panic, its pilot performs a series of violent evasive maneuvers, but in doing so, crashes into the sea. Nahumi spots the last pair of MiGs in the area coming in from the west. Pulling hard, he dives onto their tails. This time, however, the MiGs exploit their superior mobility to shake his attacks. Suki radios in that he has a low fuel warning and needs to land. Nahumi, still wrestling his way back onto the MiG's tails, launches another Sidewinder at the trailing MiG-17, which connects. Its wingman makes a successful escape towards the mountains, and both Kurnas fighters come into land. Miraculously, given the airstrikes, the runway is undamaged, and both aircraft are able to find space to land. With the few remaining Egyptian aircraft now on their way back to their bases, the two inexperienced Kurnas crews have stood up to 28 enemy aircraft and shot down 7 without loss.